कार्यकाल व्यतीत करेंगे यहाँ पे. This is a little talk show, and these two gentlemen that you see on the stage here are the software and the hardware of the computer called Prestige. Dr. Davies Jain, who is the chairman of the Prestige Education Foundation and the president of Prestige Industries. आप हैं श्री विपिन जैन जी, प्रेसिडेंट और वाइस चेयरमैन हैं. इन दोनों ने मिलके जो एक बीज बोया गया था, इंडस्ट्रीज का बोया गया था करीब 48 साल पहले, और लगभग 29-30 साल पहले एजुकेशन का बोया गया था, उसको सींच के यहाँ तक ले आए हैं कि आज हम 25वीं सालगिरह के अवसर पर इन दो व्यक्तियों का एक आदान प्रदान करके जानना चाहेंगे कि ये क्या सोचते हैं, कैसे चलते हैं, क्या इनके विचार हैं और क्या इसके बारे में सोचते हैं. Now, before I start to ask questions, let me tell you some little thing. Commitment, which is the middle name of both the gentlemen here, is so strong कि 1 घंटे पहले विपिन जी ने एक क्रोसिन फास्ट एक्शन गोली खाई थी क्योंकि 101 डिग्री बुखार था. They have traveled from Bhopal, Indore, I'm sorry, from Indore by road in an 8-hour journey in such conditions as having a fever. So I think they deserve a round of applause for this commitment that you can see. So I also appreciate some of the friends from the media who are here, जिन लोगों ने अपना समय निकालकर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया, प्रिंट मीडिया जहाँ से आए हैं और इस टॉक शो में सम्मिलित हैं. तो let me begin by throwing a question at the chairman, and it's always very pleasant here from, as they say, the horse's mouth. तो सर ऐसा है कि ये जो समूह है SNI, Prestige समूह, many of us here present are part of the family. ये समूह इतने वर्षों में तो यहाँ तक आया है, तो I think for the benefit of everybody here और सबकी जानकारी के लिए it is very nice कि आप अपने शब्दों में कुछ बयान करें कि ये जर्नी कैसी रही.
नमस्कार. Good evening. Let me welcome you to come over here to Prestige Institute of Management and Research in Bollywood, which is celebrating its 25 years of event journey. Allow me to speak mixed in English and Hindi. Dr. Bajpayee just introduced that we from Prestige Group, along with my younger brother, Vipin ji, who is also the chairman of the governing board of PIMR Warrior. I am delighted to have this opportunity to share with you about my thoughts that for the past 25 years, rather I would say, from the time the Prestige Group was, took birth, that was right 1977. And the person who founded this group is our revered father, who has been conferred with Padma Shri Award by Government of India in November 2021. He is a self-made first generation entrepreneur who has to, I would say, from a very well-settled family at the time of partition of the country in 1947, has to move to this part. First, he landed in Delhi. He used to fly, incidentally, because there were agitation and riots. It was just at the time the partition was announced. So he has to leave everything just at the age of 16, came in kind of the clothes he was wearing, and had to face all kind of odds, right? Starting to being in refugee camp for almost a month, and then trying to see how you can, support your family. The family was into textile business in Rawalpindi, the erstwhile West Pakistan, the undivided state of India. So, along with his, when his parent also arrived, along with him, his uncles, they were all into, as I mentioned, in textile business. First, try to see if they would see some kind of, earning opportunities or possibilities into the capital city, but somebody suggested them to our Jain saint, who also at a particular time was in Rawalpindi for his Chomasa. He was then at that time their family had an agency of Okara mills which belonged to Birlas, and they were told that if they want to do something in the textile business, they can seek their mill in Gwalior also. So there was a mill in Birlas in Gwalior, I think JK, I think, textile. But then some of his other uncles, they also visited Indore, which was considered the third largest textile mandi in India, after I think Ahmedabad and Mumbai and Ahmedabad. Indore had 7 composite textile mills. So the family moved to Indore and settled from 1948, early 48, and then started the textile business. But probably that was not something started with a lot of, I would say, success. For the reason there was some control in those at that time for the clubs. So my father thought that he should try and get a job somewhere. So with the reference of some Jain saints and Jain community, he got a job of an apprentice in textile mill, where he started his career. And believe me, at that age, he started very modest 63 rupees a month. But then he realized that if that is the only thing, probably he would only grow with some kind of small increase in his salary and kind of work profile. So it should be that we should restart his studies. And that time, incidentally, the first engineering college started in Indore. And he mentioned to the mill owners that he would like to leave the job and go for studies again. But then mill owners suggested him that he can continue with his job in the day, and that was an evening college. And he got his admission. We are the first batch of 60 students in mechanical and electrical engineering were admitted, and only 16 could pass those exams finally, and he was the topper of that batch, first batch of engineering college, and he started. I think that was a change in his career where he was, realized that probably his abilities, his caliber, put, I think, interest in with more bigger responsibilities. And it was 1964 when he was selected to be sent to England for training to animal feed milling, the new venture with the same post when he was start. And 1964, the 6 months training in England, I think he could complete it in just 3 months. And then he brought that that technical knowledge to put up that plant in near Indore. And that was the start of his career, where he, one after the other industries, he put up in for that same group and worked with that group for over 29 years. It was 1977, probably when the new generation took up the charge. There could be some differences of opinion, although he moved in those 29 years from he started at a very lowest level of an apprentice job, close to the CEO of the group, the foreign collaborative group. So 1977, he left the job and started with a very small scale industry into animal feeding, cattle feed, where he had acquired good knowledge and experience. And that, I think, was the time when he realized that probably at the age of 46, he thought that he had done that kind of long service, but probably he would like his sons or his family not required to go in for service, but probably join the business, family business eventually. And I would say it started with very hard work, with almost negligible money available to him since he came from service. He did not have real capital, I would say, to support the business. But then, because of his contacts and his reputation in the trade and industry sector, he was supported by his friends. And I think that realized into a venture where he made big, I would say, growth and strides which took him to start this into agribusiness and start also putting up a solvent extraction plant to process soybean, which also in a matter of about 15 years became one of the largest capacities with 3 plants and an oil refinery to support that, become one of the biggest soybean processors into the country. This was the modest journey which I thought I should share.
Wonderful, wonderful. You can. I'm sure all of you would sense the passion in the words of Dr. David Jain when he speaks about his father, Padma Shri awardee Dr. Neemnath Jain, who unfortunately could not make it because of ill health. But he is a very active person today. He is 92 years old. He attends office every day. सर एक बात बताएं कि आप दोनों ने, देवी जी ने और देवेश जी ने अपने पिताजी से अलग अलग चीजों को अपनाया है। विरासत में दोनों को अलग अलग क्वालिटीज मिली है। जैसा मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले कहा था कि यदि कंप्यूटर का नाम प्रेस्टीज है तो आप उसके हार्डवेयर हैं, or they misuse the software. What I mean to say is that the engineering brain who we very fondly call Bade Sahab, who is the Janak of this entire group, engineering brain was inherited automatically by Sri Bipinji, who doesn't have an engineering degree, but he can teach at postgraduate level. Davis sir, on the other hand, inherited the business aspect. So between the two of them, they make a wonderful team. Sir, ये न सिर्फ क्वालिटी के साथ में मैंने देखा है कि आप जो है 12 घंटे तो रोज करते हो, कभी कभी 16 घंटे भी दफ्तर में रहते हो, जो कि कभी कभी बाकियों के लिए भी तकरीबन चीज हो जाती है। तो इसमें क्या कहना है आपको कि ये कैसे हुआ? और we keep hearing that he talks about China, Japan and Israel. ये इसके पीछे क्या राज है?
The Street Group started, as I mentioned, 77, and right from that year, we started in a very small way. We got into export markets straight away. And the full-fledged activity started in the 80s, where we reached one of the other countries. And to say that since January 1981, I handled all the export business, developed export markets, rather I would say, open virgin markets in over 25 countries for India for the soil products and other agriculture products. So by the turn of century 2000, the group was at their own presence with their markets, which covered into 40 countries, where I used to move around the world marketplace. I think there was hardly a month where I was not traveling abroad. And in the process, I would have, I think, during that period, I can say that I would have, I think, covered highest mileage international travel and consumed maybe more than a dozen of passports. Sorry. So that was the situation where when you walk in east or you walk to the west, there's a time difference. And as incidentally, I joined with a small business when my father was in service. And along with my studies, which were I graduated in 1976, I was already involved into some small business when father started 1977 on his own. I was the first person to join that business and take it from all the commercial aspects. The father is the technocrat, and at that time I think my age would have been mid-30s, and I think it was later later in mid-80s where Bipin Bhai also after his graduation joined the business on a next scale. So by the time the business was, I would say, well established, doing seeing a lot of growth and development. And Bipin Bhai is one of the leading every business brands. Incidentally, I would say to the extent we were better known internationally than nationally. You talk of every business, particularly soil based products. We can say we can say that soil business, I think anybody major player in the world would know best nutrition. Because we had done so much of field work, so much of, moving around, meeting people. And that was more for my academic interest, to develop markets in the national interest. Uh, and I think that has paid rich dividends. We were very well recognized and started commanding respect and able to get, I would like a first right of refusal even against multinational, transnational companies to bag export orders. That was the situation, and that all working, some countries you have, they're 2.5 hours behind your Indian time, there's some of them are 3.5 hours, or 4.5 hours ahead of your Indian time. So I think you have to work with them right from early morning to late evening or nights. So that gave us a kind of, elongated working hours. And I would say that this became a habit. And I do not see any difficulty, keeping that kind of a working schedule. So, and when we say about China, Japan, or Israel, lot has actually been, I think I got a lot of inspiration from seeing these countries, people working, and more so, something which is of great importance. I think if you talk about China per se, Chinese, you find most of the ladies, or girls into the front, offices. So they manage the business, the front office business, while probably the industrial or production things must have been more male dominated, but men managed by the men. But in Japan, which is, I would say, a very systematic society, they go into very great details, very working very meticulously. Again, the Japanese on an average work 12 to 14 hours a day. A Chinese would work minimum 12 hours a day. Israel, another area where you see innovation, probably anything that they do, the country which is a virtual desert, I would say they don't have any land of their own as such, but probably the way they have developed and started offering technologies to develop world, including US. So these are the examples which one would like to take inspiration and give us a lot of insight working with these countries and these companies there. And I think that we try to bring into our working systems and our working culture.
Sir, you have very clearly, and I'm sure a lot of us were not aware of the details that you have espoused on today. However, maybe a lot of you are wondering that here we are sitting in an educational institution, based in prestige institute of higher research warrior, and we're talking about soil, we're talking about prestige industry, because that is the reason. So I'll come to, and anyone of you can answer this. What was that turning point that initiated you to start the education there?
Very good question. You see, anybody would be, I would say, anxious to know what brought you to education. When you talk about business, you talk about industry or agro-business industry, immediately somebody said that why you ventured into education or got into education. Let me tell you, for Prestige, this has not been a business as such. This is more of corporate social responsibility. And the mandate given to all of us is that we all are trustees of this. We don't consider ourselves as owners. More so because it started with a very pious thought. When my father attained 60 years, the family wanted to celebrate his 60th birthday. And by the time he was very well established in business and industry, so we said that we would like to celebrate your 60th birthday. For a while, he did not respond. But then he said that everyone attains that kind of an age at some point of time in the life. So what is special that we should do and cause that we should celebrate this? He said that you have accomplished everything in your life. And the family wishes that it should be celebrated in a befitting manner. So the next see, point you raise, that if you really want to do it, there has to be good purpose. Then we ask, what is in your mind? If you could tell us, then he says that you see, like me, there would be many people who could not, I would say, come into their life. But in my opinion, that educating myself at that time, getting admission to engineering college, got myself qualified, become an engineer, and restarted my this thing. Otherwise, I would have led very normal kind of life. So for me, like people with some talent, but probably because of the means could not come up in their lives, we should be ready to support them. We should ready to work something for them. And for that, should we not start an education institution? If that is the reason that you would like to celebrate, then if you can spare, this is 60, I'm talking in 1991. We were born in 1991. So if you spare 60 lakh rupees to make it like a corpus or endowment for this starting an education institution, probably I think that would be a good reason to celebrate the work. The family readily agreed. This is a very noble thought, and why should it not be done? Then he said, I will take permission from our Acharya, who was there in Ahmednagar. We, all our family and relatives, we went to have the darshan of our Acharya Guru, and then put up his proposal before him to seek his blessings and his advice. He said, this is very wise thing which has decided, and you should do it. I think you will really succeed in a way that it would be great service to the society. So with that noble thought, the Prestige Educated Society was born. And the first institution came in existence in 1994.
सर मैं एक और सवाल अभी बीजेपी से कि इस संस्थान जो कि प्रेस्टीज समूह है, हम देखते हैं कि आप कितना डीप में जा सकते हैं. You can talk about, and let me tell you, learning and teaching at the same time, not formally but informally. वो आज भी किसी स्क्रो की पिच और उसकी लेंथ के बारे में मैंने डिस्कस किया. ये इंटरेस्ट आपको कहाँ से निकला और किस समय तक निकला? How did you realize that you were born to be an engineer without any?
Looking to my father, when we started the industry, looking to my father, when we started the industry, I went along with him to all the industry, and along with him, I learned many of things. It created interest for me to look into the all this industry and machinery production. From there, it started the engineering part of it.
विश्वकर्मा दिवस पे बड़े से छोटे लेवल पे लिखा है, लेकिन विश्वकर्मा तो ये है. तो सर देवी सर, मैं एक चीज सबके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ कि हमने देखा है कई दफे के दफ्तर में कि आप टेलीफोन पे जो फिक्स लाइन वाला है उस पे किसी से बात कर रहे हैं, आप किसी पेपर के ऊपर कुछ लिखा है उसको पढ़ रहे होते हो, और सामने दो जन बैठे हैं जो आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, उनकी बातें भी सुन रहे होते हो. एंड एट द एंड ऑफ इट, अगर हमने ये सोच लिया कि इनको समझ नहीं आया तो बहुत गलती है, क्योंकि उसके बाद ये सवाल पूछ लेते. तो सर ये कहाँ से हाउ एंड दिस क्वालिटी डेवलप?
You see, as I mentioned, I started my career in business also. While I was studying in a school, not even in college. So life, thrown some challenges, and my father, asked me, I moved from this science biology to to commerce education because of some circumstances with small business in partnership. It was, you know, I was thrown a challenge. If you can, take it over, then probably you say what is the small investment you will make. So from that time, I think coupled with that, my studies, after that, joining the others with business from day one, all these things into animal feed again. And now since 1994, education, now the education, you know, activity has also taken such a large, shape that the group manages more than 10 education institutions, 2 schools, and a university now also. So multitasking, I would say, has become like a habit, and I think do not feel myself either perturbed or disturbed. And I developed a habit to take attention and care of everything, probably at the same time.
No, this is an amazing feat, and I must admit that not all of us are born to be very special talent. And acknowledge this, that it is very. सर देखिए बहुत कोई कोई भी ऐसा जीवन नहीं होता है, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होता है जहाँ ये सब उपलब्धियां और सुख के साथ में वो परेशानियां ना हो। Your family has been through lots of tragical moments, lots of difficulties. Do you think you are in a condition to be a
Well, I think you have touched upon very sensitive point. Life, as we say, is full of challenges and many ups and downs, I would say. Some of those sometimes one faces in life, probably we also had a share of life, these kind of times, or hard times, or painful times. Probably, I think more than I would say our share. But no, just to say that in early 80s, we had two tragedies in our family. I lost my younger brother, who was between the two of us at the age of 24. And just before that, I lost our brother-in-law also, again, just at the age of 30. So these two were, terrible, I would say, which shatters anyone. But, and that was also the early time of our own early business on our own. But then I think my father is a tough person in that respect. We could understand that if we do not try and, get back to our work, probably so many families connected to us would also get disturbed. So it is our duty that this show must go on. So he said that everything, we back to work, and that is the right people to go on with life. Same way, in late 90s, that is 97, the company Prestige Group suffered one after the other, kind of incidences, which I would say dislocated the entire financial system. One of the largest new plant put up in Pithampur with 1,000 tons per day soybean processing capacity. Just new plants on the very second year of the peak season was, blown with a very severe fire, or almost smashed. At the same time, there was an elongated monsoon, so soybean crop, which was an all-time high crop, remained in the fields. The farmers could not collect it after that cleaning, and it got rainwater soaked or damaged. So the product from there also was not up to the mark, but became substandard. Heard that there was a severe cyclone occurred in Andhra, where 3 of our chartered ships were to take our cargo to Far East destinations. which was almost like 45 crores in those years. And they were drenched under, salt water, sea water emission for almost 3 days. Everything was, even the insurance claims were only very small portion was settled. So all this thing, dislocated the company, all problems came out one after the other at the same time, I would say. And the company has could not be supported because that the problem did not only occur with us. Similar problems with prices falling, like our main product, which was exported, was something around $328 to $330 per ton. Within 4 5 months, it went down to $128. Just imagine. So this kind of 25 years lowest price seen in 1 year. So this is something not, I would say, man-made. These are nature's fury which, acted and disturbed our, normal working. Company which was considered as a top operator almost for 17, 18 years in that segment was, put to these kind of very alluring, problems. And we were actually, I would say, got to have a financial dislocation. But again, only this is that tough times don't last, the tough ones last if there is a strong commitment or resolution to bounce back, to come over those difficult times. And believe me, for myself, that was 1997, right up to 2003, when we had to clear our debts by selling one of the large plants which I said I am Pithampur. 5 years I did not took one single holiday. All 5 years without any holiday, we worked, tighten our belts to show that power of resilience. We have to come back, and so that the so much of hard work put in those years do not go in vain, and we continue to not only support our business but support all associated with that business, the families, our suppliers, our customers, everyone in that everything. Without denting our reputation, we could revive that business to a good state. And that I would say for that time maybe I think we were out doing something like 250 crores to 300 crores annually. That about 20% of it forming exports. Now our exports are in excess of 300 crores. The total business is now about 2,500 crores. So that kind of change over the years. If you have passed that tough time, testing times, probably you are the winners eventually.
Very, very, very said. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And here you can see two tough people, son of one more tough gentleman. He's tough as nails, as they say.
Let me also cite another time when we talk about education or our industry. Recent times, you said 2 years back, the country or the world was faced with a pandemic, COVID-19. Almost everything went down to a grinding halt. That was the month of March 2017, 2020. We had to send back all our students back to their home, and classes were suspended. March 2022, March 2020, if you recall, our honorable Prime Minister gave a call to give a tribute to our medical workers and doctors by thumping, the Ali and this thing. And as well, one day lockdown was, announced. Just followed by on 24th March 2020, a complete lockdown was planned, and which lasted for almost 4 months, 3 to 4 months. So people, the students which were outstationed, they did not return. even when the lockdowns were relaxed, problems occurred, and we understood that this problem is not going to be short-lived because no pandemic has ever been over in a short time. It goes for years, as the previous records suggest. So we from March 24, when complete lockdown was there, in the month, very next month, April 1st to April 30th, just imagine, we wanted that our students should not suffer. Their, transfer of knowledge should continue unabated. We should impart that knowledge by some other way or means. We geared up to that situation and organized our faculty to take online classes. By whatever means, we said, don't worry, all your money required for your Wi-Fi or for your equipment, minimum kind of a laptop and this thing will be provided by the institution at their cost. But see that our classes continue online. Month of April itself, just believe we conducted 16,700 classes. From nowhere, people did not understand how to do that. So that we responded to that call that time. Same time, 24th March 2020, lockdown happens. We are into agriculture and agri processing and food business, which is an essential thing. We cannot live without food even for a day. Unless we needed food, morning, evening, night. We took a special permission from the authorities collectorate of Devas that we would want to continue our production facilities and the production should go uninterrupted. We were given a conditional relaxation with that all the workers need to be fed by yourself and they should remain in the factory premises. They should not move out or go out in the streets or on the roads. So that would not be permitted. We organized that thing and believe me that the supply chain did not let break even for a day. Whether it is Sunday or Saturday or Monday, any day, whatever the special lorries with the permits came, every single lorry is supplied with the food article so that the supply chain continues into the marketplace so that consumers get to be fed with the essential commodity. So this is the way we said that
this is definitely a very, very positive contribution of the group in times we were very, very good. वो समय हम सबको याद है वो 2 वर्ष जो निकल गए वो हम अपने याद से बिताना चाहते हैं हमेशा के लिए कभी दोबारा ना आए let me tell you one thing today Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior 25 साल हो चुके हैं और इन 25 वर्षों में बाकी संस्थाएं जो बड़ी हैं सब जोड़ के we reached a level where we have got more than 13,000 students at any point in time. सर इस 13,000 स्टूडेंट की जो स्ट्रेंथ आई है इसको कहीं ना कहीं क्लासरूम चाहिए होता है कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए होती है कुछ चीजें चाहिए होती है तो डिपिन सर आप बताएं कि इसमें क्या आपने योगदान दिया और देश में क्या करने वाले हैं ताकि हम 50,000 स्टूडेंट कर सकें.
So right now is the most exciting phase for Prestige Education Foundation. Within a span of 4 years, that includes the previous 2 years, we are investing around 250 crores in the education infrastructure. And we are also have a plan to open the new institute at Bhopal if it happens. There is further 50 CR investment there in the institute. Further, for the next phase, after the completion of this phase, we have a plan for another 150 CR investment, which will be go in the Prestige University. So, say to start with this institute, we already completed this law building, 2 floor of law building. We have renovated all other 2 buildings. Now, we are starting air conditioning of whole campus from next week.
That's good news for everybody in Gwalior. We have completely air conditioned the institution over here, and thanks to Divin sir here, we are going to have a capacity which is going to be almost twice of what it is today.
And then we are constructing 2 more floors here in all the buildings. So the around 70,000 square feet construction will be there. So then at Prestige Institute Indore, we are creating a new UG campus of 150,000 square feet, which will take all the students of undergraduates and law. There will be another new construction, it's already in the pipeline, and from next week it will start working. And within a year that will be ready. Along with that campus of 6 acres, which has a Prestige Engineering College and law college and music college. All the campus of this around 4 lakh square feet, we are doing air conditioning for the campus.
4 lakh square feet of air conditioned space. Okay, who would have thought about this? This is what the reality is.
Then our main, the first campus of PG, MBA PG college, it's almost 26-year-old now. That building is around 26-year-old. We are renovating all the interior there. We are again air conditioning one building that is around 75,000 square feet building. So further, the biggest project what we are right now doing is a Prestige University. It's around in this place we are constructing 4 lakh square feet. And the total after the completion of the project, it will be around 12 lakh square feet.
12 lakh square feet in a university constructed space.
The whole campus, university campus, is again air conditioned, including the hostels.
Fantastic. And also one more. This is an amazing thing.
The building itself has acknowledged many awards from the International Architecture Society from New York, from Europe, France, also Switzerland. So the architect has got so many awards from that building. The building is state of the art and totally automation is there. Even if the student goes out, automatically lights, air conditioning will be off.
Wow.
There will be zero discharge of water. All the water will be reused, so it's a totally green building. We are getting a IGBC and edge certification for that. And we may go for lead platinum also.
So we are thinking, he's already thinking 30 years ahead. 30 साल बाद जो कानून लागू होगा, आप पहले से ही उसको implement करें.
That building is totally with PMS system whole campus. So from anywhere in the world you can control everything there. System. And all the modern equipments, all the meeting rooms, all auditoriums, having latest facility available.
Fantastic.
And one of these, we can say, the best infrastructure for education in the country.
Excellent. That again falls around. We are going to present to the country the best possible education infrastructure anywhere. And you're all welcome to Bhopal at Windhor proceedings. देवी सर, डिप्टी ने बताया कि इतना सब कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है, including in 250 crore rupees in the real estate, in creating infrastructure. आप already future के बारे में सोचना शुरू कर दिए हो. What is your vision of the Prestige Group? 7 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, how many now? जैसे कि अभी बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे कि रजत जयंती से भारत के अमृत काल प्रेस्टीज ग्रुप में
पिछले 70 साल में अगर हम देखें 65 से 70 साल में इंडियन इकोनॉमी was something of the order of close to $1 trillion. a bit lower than $1 trillion. Now, by 2025, the Honorable Prime Minister has given a call that India should clock a $5 trillion GDP. So the kind of growth seen into the recent last 9 to 10 years is phenomenal. In next another 3 to 4 years, I think it will be phenomenal. So we see that there are development, there are growth all around. But now when we see how we need to respond to this call as a very responsible citizen, very responsible group, engaged into very important, I would say, lines of activities like agri and food. At the same time, education is one of the most highest priority areas for any nation to grow, to develop. So, similarly, as you said, that what is our plan? Our plan is the first university already taken shape, the first phase, commission, July 2023, we start the new session there. The 10 institutions already in operation, the two schools are here. I think we, on our drawing board or on our agenda, 2 more universities are on the anvil. And similarly, with the permission, we would have more, study centers there and there. All this probably can lead the student population, the student strength and prestige group from the current 13,000 level to be at least 3 folds. So that is something to take us to one of the largest, education providers in the country. It's not important that we become largest. More importantly, that the kind of trust which you build, that probably the students which would get their qualification, their skilling, their training, which we continue to impart, I think should take them to develop into very good professionals, very good entrepreneurs, and that is what I think would be right service to the nation, service to the society. And we are all totally committed for that. We would provide them with latest knowledge, latest new branches, which are new technologies, which are, you would be hearing. And I think we are geared up ourselves to have those resources, both from within the state, outside the state, and even outside of India. And this all would make Prestige as one of the most trusted name in education sphere when any family wants their children to be educated.
There are several other initiatives that are happening across the country. Are you planning to enter into any one of those new areas like e-learning, like drones,
Yeah, I think that I answered to mention. Now, beyond this agribusiness or the normal course of education, Prestige Group is poised to take leap forward movement into newer technologies, newer areas. One of them is drones. Drones, you would have heard, has tremendous possibilities that they would provide special services, very efficient services, very accurate services, and probably even cutting the cost, cutting the time, delivery time, making it very proficient. We have now 3 verticals developing into the drones. Drones R&D is already taking place for the last 3 years. That was huge. Drone servicing into many sectors. We have done some human services already. And the third one is with our own pilot training institution, which would be duly approved by UGCA. So this is one area. Second area into telecom, that is wireless services. You would all be hearing after 4G now, there is start of 5G in India. And even I'm sure I think some of these services provider would have offered this technology as well. Another 3-4 years, 5 years, it should stabilize. But what next? We are a group which is always forward looking, which sees where the new research and development are taking place. We are very consciously looking for developing 6G technologies. Now 6G is something out of this, 3, 4G, 5G kind of thing. Now 6G would be like there will be no telecom towers, no need. You could speak on your mobile phone sitting, traveling into an aeroplane. So these kind of technologies is 6G would be altogether new statement. We already signed some of these research and development agreements with European leading organizations and universities. And we start this first research lab in India. The third one is developing our own e-learning platform. That is another area where after this COVID, we realized there's a need of hybrid, teaching learning process. And it's one needs to be updated. And continuous updating and upskilling is something which is required now. If you have, I have got a degree in 1976, unless I'm updating my knowledge, I think I would be irrelevant, outdated. So we are trying to work that with some short courses, we could continue this kind of special training and skilling and even education, offering those degrees with online on our online platform. The Prestige e-learning platform is something which is under development and would be launched in a very big way.
We are already seeing the rest of the world.
EdTech, this is an EdTech, initiative. One more thing is our own software development. We are into the software development also, starting developing through our ERPs, lot of new applications, new apps. All these things are taking place with the new age technologies and we already set up a research lab for industry 4.0, where complete automation, robotic arms, into the production lines. So we've got an incubation center at Indore. This is the finest incubation center in Central India. First one to start in Central India with support from NITI Aayog Government of India. NITI Aayog Government of India is investing 10 crores, and even bigger amount is actually being invested there from the Prestige Group. And we have already got almost 60 startups, from there so far. And I think by the turn of this decade, I think we can see this numbers going many folds. And I think because now newer students qualifying with their graduation, post-graduation, they team up with their like-minded students or youngsters to start their own enterprise instead of just seeking a job or a placement. So this is where we are giving them all very proper training, proper guidance, and even the funding to have this kind of startups.
It is rare, very rare, sir, to see the kind of passion that you have in a business leader who is a technocrat or a business magnate, providing so much in-depth interest and passion in the area of education. This is in the making. I've not seen many educational groups run by family businesses. They're usually run by either the government or by some charities. But family-run businesses running something successfully requires a certain kind of management style. And I think the secret sauce is something I think we should review today. How you can talk together and what is your style of managing?
Let me tell you that number one, very very important thing which I think I should share with you our style of, functioning. Prestige doesn't have any employer or employees. There's nothing like an employer-employee relation. Prestige is a large family. If you see family, me or my brother, we are like the elders in the family. That's the only difference. Every one of them connected, they are on a good, they are like family, prestige family members. And I'm very happy to see the prestige family growing, enlarging day by day. Or anyone who has serious intent and has requisite qualification, knowledge, and experience, they are welcome to join the company. We're always on the look so that we can keep imparting better and better services, better and better products, and serve the society, serve the nation. I think much in a much bigger and better way. And that is the way where we could continue to work so that there's nothing like one has not to say that he has got a job offer or something. People seldom leave Prestige wants to join. And that is where I think the sense of ownership exists. We were already rated in 2019 as the best employer of the state of Madhya Pradesh. And in that acceptance speech, again, I said the same thing, that they're nothing like employers and employees at Prestige. We are all part of a family as Prestige family.
I think this again calls for a round of applause. I was asking somebody, little while back, how many people in PIMR 1 year have been working for more than 15 years? The institute is only 25 years old. And you know what? I thought the answer would be zero. The answer was more than double digit. That again is an amazing let's say, tribute to the quality of involvement. Sir, the Jain philosophy, which is something which more and more people are embracing across the world today, or having proven during the pandemic area, that if you follow the Jain philosophy, you had better chances of survival. So you have not only followed that, you have believed it and you put it into your lifestyle. You like to care to talk about it a little more.
I think yes, I have born in a Jain family and convinced beyond doubt that is the Jain way of life is something which is very pure. And I think it has three important tenets. If you see Jain philosophy, it's based on three basic principles. The first one we all know is ahimsa. That is second non-violence. We say ahimsa non-violence. Second is
Anika,
anekantva. Anekantva is non-absolutism. That everyone has their point of view and everything needs to respect. The third one is aparigraha. Don't accumulate things beyond the need. So I think I have not only been seeing this as one of an important way to develop life, but I would say that becomes your fulfilling because if you share your wealth for better things with the society, I think this is the better way to say that you don't need to do everything for yourself. The Anekantva is one of the very important set of Jainism that we should respect everyone's point of view. Maybe you think differently, but probably it has the same objective. So don't say that my word is the only word or the best word or the final word. You should, take a collective opinion and then decide things so that everyone has to contribute. Ahimsa non-violence I've traveled in more than 70 countries. As I said, more than a dozen passports I've already consumed. I do not want to cross the globe how many times myself, how many days I've lived abroad, in what different, climatic zones or different kind of cultures. And I have, I'm a staunch vegetarian. And I believe me, at times, eighties and nineties, people hardly knew what is vegetarian in many countries. You tell them, exactly. But I think we survived. It so happened that people sometimes are surprised at how could you manage without, non-vegetarian food. That is the way we thought that. I go to the extent saying, no, ahimsa, non-violence is not by only hurting some living beings. It is not even hurting by your thoughts. You should not have such hurting thoughts in you. So that is a principle which I think has been practiced by me all my life, and I think I'm happy that this has paid me rich dividends, and rather the value system which was given to us by our parents carries on to the fourth generation in our family.
Sir,
Nowadays, more and more Western world is going toward the veganism.
absolutely. In fact, I remember, I'm sure you would agree, sir. There was a time when international rights पे vegetarian food के लिए बहुत special request करनी पड़ती थी, which was not every India. इंडिया में तो मिल जाता था, बाकी में तो vegetarian food मिलता नहीं था. आज की तारीख में every international right in the world has a category called Jain food. I'm sure you travel abroad, you will find one category where you pick Jain. That is what the Indian ethos has gone to the rest of the world. Sir, soybean oil processors association. These so-called, there's a body called SOPA, SOPA. Now, उसमें बड़े साहब जो लोगों के पितृपुरुष हैं, उन्होंने 30 लाख किसानों को एक कंपनी बनाने का तरीका बताया, and therefore he was called the man of the millennium as far as the soybean industry was concerned. उनके नक्शे कदम पर चलते हुए आप दोनों ने भी सोयाबीन इंडस्ट्री के लिए बहुत कुछ किया है, और तेरिस जी को प्राप्त हुआ है श्रेय to be the longest serving, currently also serving chairman of SOPA. Sir, उसके विषय में बताएं, and what have been your major achievements there?
Yes, that's true. This also I would say I inherited from my father, who took over as chairman of SOPA, the Soybean Processors Association of India, the apex body, the apex national body of soybean sector in the country. What we did was something which changed the life of almost 30 lakh farmers in Madhya Pradesh way back in mid-80s. That the soybean yield was raised from 540 kg per hectare to 960 kg per hectare in a year, which almost doubled their income. It was a missionary move after a very severe drought. The country, the farmers were into shambles, and what he did changed the very face of not only the farmers or transformed the rural economy of the state, but more importantly, this became the industry which was into red also revived and regained its lost export markets. Then after that, we got ourselves connected to the farming community and try to disseminate the information about the best practices for soybean cultivation, developing many products of the soybean, and I would say promoting this crop, which is actually soybean has been known worldwide as wonder wheat because it has very important source of cooking medium edible oil, is one of the very healthy oil, and the other thing is the protein. the cake has high amount of protein, which is something very important for our nutrition. The country is faced with a lot of malnutrition problems. We need more protein, and soybean is one of the best source of vegetarian protein, and it could address the malnutrition very effectively. So this is what I think we work at so far to address these issues, work very closely with the respective governments in the state and central in policy formulations. And I think we are also, contributed in huge development of the soil sector in India.
In fact, the father got the Padam Shri for that movement for the farmers, which has changed the life of the farmers and got the yield to the twofold or more.
That definitely is a matter of pride for the entire state of Madhya Pradesh for having been awarded a publicity in the area of industry and agriculture. Nobody else got this kind of publicity before. Sir, I will ask you to give any specific instance where you've been involved in actually making the country come out of chaos.
I think yes, there are many such incidences, but one incident which I think also I was recognized at the international level. My effort in addressing a very grave situation. It was caused by damaged soybean crop, where it started changing color because of high moisture, as I mentioned, about elongated monsoon that was in late 90s, and the export product coming out of it, what was shipped out of India, started getting rejected by one and the other country in cities where in 7 countries India was actually UN cry was there, and they complained to government of India that such product which is unmerchantable has been received from India, and they have decided to blacklist India. So at that time, since most of the trade was taking place for international business by the multinational companies who had their own offices in India, they used to buy the Indian product, consolidate quantities, and ship out in their own chartered vessels and deliver it into the respective destinations around the ship. But when this cargo was found to be having higher moisture and probably a problem of the color and texture, they subjected this to very high rate of allowances or discounts or rebates, and only by applying that heavy discounts they accepted the cargoes, but taking it on a discount doesn't change the state of the cargo. You can only reduce the value, but the problem with the cargo cannot be addressed. And when the problems occurred that one or two other countries started blacklisting India, rejecting the shipments, we were immediately the Joint Secretary in Ministry of Commerce responsible for agriculture exports came flying to Indore and almost like shouted on the entire sector that we would not only blacklist you, we will initiate legal action and cancel all export licenses. At that point of time, when I was also the chairman, although I'm the youngest chairman, but in the meeting, all those stalwarts who was 70 years and even older age, the past chairman and the committee members, they said that, well, what we can do, we have already passed on the discounts to our buyers, who has to now deal with that or deal with those end user customers abroad. We have no direct privy to those contracts with the ultimate buyers. So like that, in the meeting, nobody was able to understand the kind of consequences what would render the total loss of market eventually for India in the years to come. So I told them, you cannot, I would say, until your responsibility, you cannot disown even after having passed this Islam. Probably you need to understand, meet those end users, try and understand and take some corrective measures. So this doesn't require, to assure them. Otherwise, next year when we have to run our plants, who's going to buy from us? And this would be a total chaos situation in the years to come, and we will only see that the soybean crop diminishes in India. So, despite this, my strong observation, what needs to be done? I said we should immediately mount a delegation of all the important processors and exporters to these destinations to where the cargoes are shipped. Talk to them, understand their grievances, address them in what possible manner, take some corrective action back home so that we can assure them these are the measures taken and it will not recur. This kind of approach, when I harped upon, and the whole responsibility was given to me, okay, you can go take the delegation and deal with them if you so wish. So like that, without much of support or willingness, I took that onus on me that yes, I will do that kind of exercise. I will take that delegation, meet them, talk to them, let them vent out their grievances. What assurance I can carry, what are the things which we decided at our end. All those things when we went to countries like Japan, China, Philippines, Thailand, I think few more countries than South Korea. So they are major importers. And we assured them after one another meeting, what initially looked to be very curious, kind of buyers. They have all kind of complaints. We could, with great persuasive power, make them, to understand that this is not kind of a man-made problem. It's the nature's beauty which has made this about. And we need to, I would say, talk to them and assure them that we are taking these measures which probably will avoid any recurrence of this kind of problems. And believe me, what was blacklisting by the time after more than 2 weeks of war with these countries with a 9-member delegation which I led, the country not only got that the level of blacklisting removed, but started getting orders in thousands of crores. So this is something which I think was a great, I would say, taking that responsibility, see, leading from the front and addressing those issues in a business-like manner without actually, I would say, shelling out a single penny as compensation. And believe me, we took those measures so that we could assure that the next further supplies were without any such complaints to us. And this was a revival of lost market for India. Not only lost market, but the image which was tarnished was actually recouped or recovered in a very, very healthy manner.
Now it is absolutely true, sir, because you could actually revive a sector which would have otherwise died. And so this brings me when you said lead from the front, this brings me to the last question, and that is, सर आपके जीवन का फलसफा क्या है और ये नई पीढ़ी के लिए क्या आपके सुझाव है? How will you do that?
Very philosophical question. At this age, I completed 65. My brother is also now a senior citizen. We all, at some point, have to introspect what this life has given us. What is that we could really give it to the younger generation? What is that is important in our view? So when you think it quietly, think it with a lot of depth, you come to certain important facets, which in my opinion, I have tried to see what these are. To me, I have drawn, reduced it to 4 L's. The 4 L's start with first is learning. And in my opinion, learning is something so important that at this age, I try to learn a lot of new things, update myself, at least if not more than 2 hours a day. And every one of us needs to be a learner, a student until our last breath. This would only keep us relevant and updated with the changing times. So learning is something of paramount importance, as I mentioned. After the partition, my father has underwent a relearning process after he qualified from the schools. So that gave him to this, brought him to this stage. So learning is something you should not see that what is your age. And even learning, I would say, from peers, from your elders, from teachers, but even from your youngsters. Many times we see the newer technologies, youngsters are able to pick up very fast. And we do not become outdated. We should not hesitate or have any reservation in learning from them. So learning is something is of very important tenets, and we should continue learning every day something new. So, the other thing which probably I think to me, second L, I thought what is so important in life. The other aspect I found is four words love. And that love is something, anything we do, we should love that. And do, we should do what loves us, or what is, important to us, what we like. So love your environment, love your action, love your work, love your life, and you will find that things are more interesting, more rewarding, and more, I would say, seeing you acceptance in the society. Because this is something which has great affection. So I thought I practiced, I realized this has actually given me a lot of acceptability amongst my peers, my colleagues, my friends, my society, my customers, and my students. So this was the second thing. Third thing is, after these two things, which is important, that you learn a lot of things. There's a responsibility which you need to share with your younger generations, that we have to guide, we have to lead. So the third L is lead. So you lead by example. You lead the younger ones with your experience, with your knowledge. I'm sure, I think that this kind of an approach, you will serve the society in a very, very effective way and do a lot good to the development of your nation. Because if you have, in my opinion, as I said, learning, that is your knowledge of Gyan, that is would always increase by giving it to the others. So if you are spreading that knowledge, you become an automatic, kind of a leader in the society. So if you continue with what you learned and you lead the society and make the society every one with some contribution for their growth and development, for their direction, I think you have really serviced the society very effectively and the environment around you, the people around you. And the last L, which probably I think practicing these three things, I'm sure you can leave an indelible mark on your life. That is legacy, which in my opinion, my feeling is that when I leave the world, I should leave a legacy, which I think could be followed or could be, taken in cognizance. Yes, these are the examples in a society where their contribution is something of immense value. And I would request everyone or urge everyone to follow these three principles. And I'm sure I can leave a legacy for the world to benefit from. Thank you.
तो हमने पिछले एक साल घंटे में सुना कि हम कैसे एक आदर्श व्यक्तित्व को जीवन को जीने का अगर प्रयास करेंगे दो भाई अमृत काल which is 2047 तक भारत एक विश्व गुरु तुम्हारा बन सकता है. There is no reason at all. And you people are the ones who will make this happen. David sir, any last words and giving advice to our youngsters?
This more I can add to more than.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The one is be logical.
Be logical.
Last, which is the gentle of live and let live.
Wow. Round of applause for that. Live and let live. All of you are, I'm sure, very happy with that last one. Live and let live. So with zero. So with that, I would like to come to an end of what we have to share, and we open the house for any questions or any observations that you have. Yes, please. कोई भी भाषा में बोले, कोई चिंता नहीं.
मैं हिंदी में बोलूं.
इसीलिए मैंने बोला.
मेरा सबसे पहले तो मैं कहूँगा कि जैन साहब की जो फैमिली है, वो बड़ा प्राउड करने वाली है कि एक परिवार की बाउंडिंग हमें इस तरह मालूम. साथ में मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि बेटी को जिस तरह से निरंतर ऊंचाई पर बढ़ रहा है, वो और ऊंचाई पर बढ़े. हम ऐसे ही यहाँ से कामना करते हैं कि ग्वालियर में आप आए, वो कहते हैं कि जन्म के कर दो स्थान लोगों को बड़े प्यारे होते हैं. निश्चित तौर पे ग्वालियर आपको बहुत प्यारा होगा कि आपकी जन्म होती है. मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा आपसे, एक छोटी सी बात है. हमारे पड़ोस में रहते थे और उन्होंने उनके बच्चे ने विदेश में पढ़ने जाना है, और उनका बच्चा जब विदेश पढ़ने गया तो बहुत सारा पैसा उन्होंने इकट्ठा किया, उनकी क्षमता में कितना लेकिन उन्होंने इकट्ठा किया, बच्चों को विदेश पढ़ने भेजा कि हमारा बच्चा वह जाएगा, बड़ा बनेगा. लेकिन हुआ ये कि जब आंटी की डेथ हुई तो वो बच्चा विदेश में सेट हो गया था पढ़ते, और वो यहाँ पर भी आंटी को करना देने तक नहीं आया. एक बेटा जो घर में जब पैदा होता है तो बड़ी खुशियां मनाई जाती हैं, माँ बाप बड़े खुश होते हैं, और शायद माँ बाप को इतना प्राउड होता है कि मतलब आज मेरे वंश को बढ़ाने वाला. मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, ये क्वेश्चन आपसे इसलिए भी कर रहा हूँ मैं कि क्या प्रेस्टीज कॉलेज जैसे बड़ा बढ़ता जा रहा है, आज हमारे देश से बच्चे विदेश पढ़ने जाते हैं, उनको रोक तो नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन क्या हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि विदेश के बच्चे प्रेस्टीज में आकर के पढ़े तो हमारे बच्चे ऑटोमेटिक जाएंगे कि हमारे यहाँ विदेश से आज हो नहीं सकता, ऐसा होगा. मैं आरबीएस एजुकेशन की तरफ से संजय भारद्वाज.
संजय जी बहुत बढ़िया सवाल. लेकिन सर
मैं ये कहता हूँ ऐसा हो सकता है, नहीं होगा. प्रेस्टीज यूनिवर्सिटी ने जो दर्जा और जो स्टैंडर्ड कायम करने जा रही है, मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ वो न केवल हमारे विद्यार्थियों के लिए सबसे अच्छा होगा, और वो दुनिया के किसी भी स्तर से कम नहीं होगा. जैसे कि आपने देखा मेडिकल टूरिज्म हिंदुस्तान में अब बढ़ने लगा है. बाहर से लोग इलाज कराने हिंदुस्तान आते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर कम कीमत के कम कॉस्ट में अच्छा इलाज उनको प्राप्त हो सकता है, अच्छे ऐसे हॉस्पिटल्स डॉक्टर्स हैं। तो अगर हम यही चीज, अगर हमारे जो इंटेलेक्चुअल कैपिटल है और हमारे जो संस्थान है, अगर उस स्तर की शिक्षा देकर हमारे जो, मैं आपको एक और बात बताना चाहूंगा कि प्रेस्टीज के जो विद्यार्थी हैं, लगभग 60,000 से अधिक एलुमनाई प्रेस्टीज के वो इस दुनिया में फैल चुके हैं। वो दुनिया के बड़े बड़े कारपोरेशन लीड कर रहे हैं। ऐसे लोग हैं जो, जैसे लंदन के जो डिप्टी मेयर हैं, वो 2 बार डिप्टी मेयर बने लंदन के, वो दोनों बीबीए एमबीए दोनों प्रेस्टीज से हो करके गए हैं। ऐसे कई ऐसे उदाहरण हैं जो दुनिया के अंदर बहुत ऊंचे लेवल पर पहुंचे हैं। तो ये तो हमें मानना होगा कि जो हमारा पढ़ाई का स्तर है कोई कमजोर नहीं या कमतर नहीं। अब सवाल आ रहा है कि हम उससे विश्व स्तर पर कैसे बना सकें। तो ये जो हमने अभी प्रेस्टीज यूनिवर्सिटी की जो स्थापना की है, ये उसी तरफ के कदम है। तो मैं आपको बताता हूँ, आप देखेंगे अभी कुछ ऐसे रिस्ट्रिक्शन हमारे साथ में जुड़े हुए हैं कि 95% विद्यार्थी हमें केवल मध्य प्रदेश 2वीं साइज के ही ले सकते हैं। तो ये हमारे लिए एक रिस्ट्रिक्टेड पॉलिसी है। अगर हम इसको सिर्फ बोल दें तो मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ, आपके प्रेस्टीज भवन संस्थान ग्वालियर में कम से कम 50% विद्यार्थी पूरे देश से आएंगे। और कुछ ऐसे भी होंगे जिनकी कुछ रूट्स शायद ग्वालियर में होंगी, तो वो भी यहीं आकर पढ़ना चाहेंगे और उन्हें वो शिक्षा हम प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं कि वो दुनिया के किसी भी कॉर्पोरेशन के अंदर अपना अच्छी सेवा दे सकते हैं। हाँ, सवाल कि ऐसे जो आपने एग्जांपल दिया कि वो अपनी माता जी को अर्जी देने के लिए भी वो यहाँ नहीं पहुंच सके, ये बहुत हमारे लिए चिंता की बात है कि कंट्री जो 1.4 बिलियन दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा पॉपुलस देश बन चुका है, हमारे एक अपने कुछ जो कहते हैं संस्कार हैं, कुछ वैल्यू सिस्टम है, हम उनको तो मैं समझता हूँ हमारे यहाँ माँ बाप को ऊंचा दर्जा किसी का नहीं। तो जीवन में अगर हम उसको भी हम शरण उनके जो उन्हें सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है, जो अपने बुढ़ापे में अगर उनके साथ वहां पर हम नहीं उपलब्ध होंगे, ऐसा करके पढ़ के ऐसा कमाई करके भी कोई नतीजा नहीं। तो मैं समझता हूँ वो शायद हम कमी पूरी करने के लिए दिशा में डेफिनेटली प्रयासरत हैं और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि उच्च शिक्षा ग्रहण करने के लिए लोगों को बाहर के विश्वविद्यालयों का मुंह नहीं देखना पड़े और हम उसी स्तर की या उससे भी अच्छी स्तर की यहाँ पर प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन यही हम अपनी इंस्टीट्यूट से माध्यम से दे पाएंगे।
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि उच्च शिक्षा तो बिल्कुल निश्चित है, हम लोग मानते हैं कि आप लोग देंगे भी। साथ साथ में देख रहे हैं आपके बगल में जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी है और भी ग्वालियर में 2-3 यूनिवर्सिटी है, उन्होंने स्कूल्स भी खोले हैं। तो हम चाहते हैं कि बेहतरीन ग्वालियर में किसी स्कूल भी अगर बना दें तो ननिहाल से ही प्रेंटिस की शिक्षा और प्रेंटिस के मान्यता और प्रेंटिस की बॉन्डिंग उनको मिलनी चाहिए।
बहुत अच्छा सुझाव है आपका और मैं स्वागत करता हूँ कि कम से कम आपने ऐसी मांग रखी। इसका मतलब है कि प्रेस्टीज जो भी यहाँ कर रहा है उसका यहाँ एक अच्छा विश्वास हमने पैदा किया है, विश्वास यहाँ की सोसाइटी के लिए दिया है। प्रेस्टीज ने अपने 2 स्कूल, एक इंदौर में देवास में खोल रखे हैं। ग्वालियर हमारा तीसरा जो था डेस्टिनेशन भोपाल तो शुरू होने जाएगा। तो ये कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं कि यहाँ एक प्रेस्टीज का अपना स्कूल, एक अच्छा स्तर का स्कूल भी हम यहाँ पे कायम करें, क्योंकि ये भी शिक्षा तो वहां तो स्कूल के अंदर शिक्षा तो बच्चा 15 साल तक एक संस्थान से जुड़ा रहता है। यहाँ तो सर 2 साल 3 साल के बाद मैक्सिमम यहाँ उसको हम रख सकते हैं। तो अगर वो स्कूल से जुड़ता है तो ये हमारे लिए कि हम उसको पूरा तारीख और उसकी पूरी अपब्रिंगिंग जो है उसकी क्वालिफिकेशन उसकी बुनियाद से शुरू करें। तो एक अच्छा सुझाव है, हम जरूर इसके लिए सही जगह का चुनाव करेंगे और कोई ना कुछ हम इसके ऊपर आगे जल्दी निर्णय लेंगे। मैं आपको विश्वास आता हूँ कि मैनेजमेंट
सर पता नहीं क्यों आप मतलब 2 भाई यहाँ पे और मतलब मेरी पता नहीं क्यों आपकी इच्छाएं बढ़ती जा रही हैं। मैं चाहता हूँ स्कूल और कॉलेज जो सब भी आप करें, क्योंकि ग्वालियर में कला की नगरी और इसलिए कला के रूप में बहुत बड़ी विश्व पहचान है। तो मैं चाहता हूँ इतने सारे मैनेजमेंट कोर्स के साथ साथ में एक कला का कोर्स भी आप यहाँ
100% तो ऑलरेडी डिसाइड हो चुका है। प्रेस्टीज इन ह्यूमैनिटीज बहुत बड़ा एक विभाग खोलने जा रही है इंदौर में। लिबरल आर्ट को कल के बाद हमारा क्योंकि ये सांस्कृतिक नगरी है और इसके ऊपर आज नई जागरूकता पैदा हुई है, इसके अंदर तो इवन फॉरेन तक इसके प्लेसमेंट हमने देखे हैं, मांग बढ़ी है। तो इस ह्यूमैनिटीज डिपार्टमेंट का हम कायम करने जा रहे हैं। इसके ऊपर ऑलरेडी एक हमने पॉलिसी से ले चुके हैं। अब उसको हम शायद अगले वक्त बहुत जल्दी उसके ऊपर हम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के और आगे बढ़ेंगे, क्योंकि अब हमारे पास नई 2 फ्लोर्स और यहाँ पर कायम हो रही है, उसी के अंदर आपको ये विभाग जरूर नजर आएगा।
सर एक चीज और मैं आपके नॉलेज में बताना चाहता हूँ, शहर में कई इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे रहते हैं, लेकिन हायर एजुकेशन के लिए उनके पास वो माध्यम नहीं हो पाती, पैसे की कमी आ जाती है या बैंक लोन नहीं मिल पाता है, वो वर्तमान फंस जाते हैं, उनकी एजुकेशन वो वहीं की वहीं ट्वेल्थ तक रह जाती है ज्यादा से ज्यादा। तो ऐसे कुछ विद्यार्थियों के लिए हम सीटें रिजर्व कर सकते हैं।
देखिए, इसमें प्रेस्टीज आपको मैं बता दूं कि करोड़ों रुपए की स्कॉलरशिप, जिसको हम छवि जैन मेरिट कम नीड स्कॉलरशिप बोलते हैं। छवि जैन मेरे ब्रदर जो थे, वो जो नीड है, वो गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट टॉपर इन इंजीनियरिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट, गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट, उनके नाम से हमने एक बड़ा ट्रस्ट फंड कायम किया हुआ है, जिसमें हम ऐसे लोगों को, ऐसे विद्यार्थियों को जिनके अंदर जो स्कॉलर भी हैं, उनकी मेरिट भी है और उनकी नीड है, बेसिक नीड, उसके अंदर कुछ क्राइटेरिया बना रखे हैं। डॉक्टर वाजपेयी भी उस कमेटी के एक मेंबर हैं। ना 2.5 लाख रुपए से कम की उनकी आमदनी साल की उनके परिवार की होना चाहिए, और उनका एक ऐसा मेधावी पूरा करियर हो, अगर हम उनको जरूर स्कॉलरशिप के अंदर मौका देंगे। और मुझे लगता है कि अब वो समय नहीं है जब पैसे के कारण उच्च शिक्षा प्राप्त नहीं की जा सकती। अगर आपके अंदर उस चीज का करने का एक इंटेंट है और आपकी एक पूरी मेहनत करने की आपकी तैयारी है, तो लोन आजकल सरकार इस चीज को बिना किसी गारंटी के भी उपलब्ध करा रही है। हमारे यहाँ तो कई बैंक के साथ हमारा इस तरीके का करार है, और उनके यहाँ, हमारे यहाँ कैंप लगते हैं कि आप अपना अप्लाई कीजिए और आप उनसे आप लोन, एजुकेशन लोन ले लीजिए, और वो आपको जब आप वापस आपकी जॉब लग जाएगी या आप अर्निंग करेंगे तब उसका रिपेमेंट आप करेंगे। और साथ में हम ऐसे लोगों को पूरी मदद करते हैं, उनको रेकमेंड करते हैं। और मैं समझता हूँ कि सिर्फ पैसे के कारण अगर वो अच्छे मेधावी कोई भी छात्र छात्राएं हैं, तो उनको ऐसे चीजों के लिए कोई आगे नहीं आएगी कि वो अच्छी शिक्षा, उच्च शिक्षा प्रेस्टीजियस संस्थान नहीं पा सकते। नहीं, बिल्कुल, आपको कहीं ना कहीं ऐसी जानकारी हुई होगी, आपने सब एग्जाम्पल देखा होगा। पर अगर मैंने बोला ना, मेरिट कम नीड, दोनों चीजें, मेरिट नहीं है तो भी फिर वो चीज इसके अंदर नहीं आती।
मेडिकल कॉलेज खोलेगा
अभी प्रेस्टीज मेडिकल और पैरामेडिकल क्षेत्र को छोड़कर बाकी सभी एरियाज में ऑलरेडी आ चुका है। हमारी जितने भी संस्थान, बाकी सारे विभाग हैं। मेडिकल पैरामेडिकल एक डिफरेंट फील्ड है, इसमें अभी हमने अपना पदार्पण नहीं किया है। मैं ये नहीं कहता कि हम नहीं आएंगे, पर इसके ऊपर अभी इमीडिएट हमारा प्लान नहीं है। शायद हम शुरुआत करेंगे तो पैरामेडिकल से पहले करेंगे, मेडिकल के बाद में आएंगे। पैरामेडिकल में जैसे नर्सिंग कोर्सेज हैं, फिजियोथेरेपी है, फार्मेसी कोर्सेज हैं। इन कोर्सेज के बारे में कुछ हमारी मीटिंग्स के अंदर मैनेजमेंट लेवल के ऊपर कुछ हमारे डिस्कशन हो रहे हैं। अभी पॉलिसी डिसीजन अभी लेना इसमें अभी बहुत बाकी है।
गुड सर, मेरा नाम हर्ष अग्रवाल है। मैं 2017-2020 बैच का पास आउट हूँ। मैंने एक इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के दौरान ही आपको एक बार ऑफिस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पर कुछ बोलते हुए सुना था, तो उसी से थोड़ा प्रेरित होकर मैं जॉब से हटते हुए कुछ उसी अभी तक इस लेवल पर पहुंचा हूं कि ग्वालियर टाउनशिप लेवल पर मैं पहुंच चुका हूं। मैं बस एज ए इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट आपका सोच जानना चाहता हूं कि मैं अपनी चीज को और इंक्रीज कैसे करूं। क्या काम करते हैं
किस एरिया में आपका है?
मेरा सर्विलेंस प्रोडक्ट्स है सारे, जो मतलब मैं कोशिश करता हूं कि मेक इन इंडिया के तहत जितना हो तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यहाँ पे करवा सकूं। बेसिकली इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंडस्ट्रीज और सर्विलेंस इंडस्ट्री चल वहां से ही रही है, लेकिन अपन असेंबलिंग एक्सपर्ट कर रहे हैं मेक इन इंडिया।
बहुत अच्छा आपका प्रयास है। आपको शायद प्रेस्टीज अटल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर, प्रेस्टीज इंस्पायर फाउंडेशन इंदौर के बारे में शायद जानकारी शायद नहीं है। एआईसी जो है वो भारत सरकार नीति आयोग के द्वारा प्रोमोटेड बॉडीज हैं, जो हिंदुस्तान के अंदर से बहुत चुनिंदा संस्थानों को दी गई है, 10 करोड़ रुपए तो सरकार ने लगाए इसमें। वहां से हमें बताया 60 स्टार्टअप हमारे से निकल चुके हैं, और उनमें से कुछ ऐसे स्टार्टअप है जो शायद आप भी हुआ आपसे भी कम है, और उनका वैल्यूएशन ऑलरेडी 100 करोड़ तक पहुंच चुका है, 50 करोड़ तक की फंडिंग पे लेने के पहुंच चुके हैं। तो वो भी कॉलेज पास आउट से इन्होंने शुरू किया है, लोग के
ड्रॉप आउट भी है।
हाँ, तो ऐसा है, ये क्या है, इसमें सिर्फ 2 चीजें परिवर्तन जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, जिसके ऊपर मैंने शायद अपने बात में कहना रह गया। 2 चीजें लाइफ में, एक कहते हैं ना, देयर इज नो शॉर्टकट टू हार्ड वर्क। आप सोचें कि हम मेहनत करने से अगर हम कहीं कोताही करेंगे या उसमें बात बनेगी नहीं। जैसा आपने अभी बात रखी कि मैं 12 से 16 घंटे 14 घंटे तो रोज काम करता हूँ, ब्रदर का भी यही रूटीन है। तो ये सब चीजों को आगे बढ़ने में जीवन में सबसे पहले की कारण, और साथ में सिर्फ काम करना नहीं, काम डिसिप्लिन के साथ करें, सिंसियरिटी के साथ करें, और किसी मकसद के ऊपर अपने को काम करें। अब जमाना ऐसा है कि अगर आप सिस्टमेटिक तरीके से आगे बढ़ेंगे तो आपकी सर्विलेंस प्रोडक्ट हो या कोई वो भी प्रोडक्ट हो, कोई कारण नहीं कि आप उसमें सफलता हासिल नहीं होगी। पर यह है कि कई जगह आपको ऐसे इम्पेडिमेंट्स नजर आएंगे, चैलेंजेस नजर आएंगे, और उससे टिकने की जरूरत नहीं है, उनको आप पार करें तो सफलता शायद कुछ ही दूर उसके बाद आपको नजर आने लगेगी। पर ये सिस्टमेटिकली आप उसमें बढ़े, टीम साथ में बनाएं, और कोशिश करें कि पूरा अच्छा प्लान बनाएं, उस प्लान पर काम करें, और अच्छे लोगों की आप जरूर उसके अंदर हेल्प लें या राय लें। आपको मैं इनवाइट करता हूँ कि हमारा कृषि इंस्टीट्यूट सेंटर जो है इंदौर में, वहाँ विजिट करें। डॉक्टर नंदन वरिंदर जो है अभी उस संस्थान के दूसरे संस्थान में आप प्रोफेसर हैं, तो वहाँ पर भी आप जाके वो आपके लिए वहाँ मदद करके आपके अपॉइंटमेंट करा देंगे, आपके सीईओ से मीटिंग कराएंगे, आपको उसके बारे में। आपने आपने स्टार्टअप रजिस्टर कर लिया?
नहीं सर, रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है एक्चुअली, अभी चैनल बिजनेस टाइप में चल रहा है।
नहीं, देखिए स्टार्टअप के लिए जो बेसिक नीड है कि आपका आइडिया जो होता है, नवाचार होता है, इनोवेटिव। अगर वो इनोवेशन है, उसमें कुछ इनोवेटिव आइडिया है, उसको ट्रांसलेट इनटू टेंजिबल बिजनेस कैसे करना है, वो हम सब चीजें आपको पूरी गाइड करेंगे। तो आप डॉक्टर संजीव पाटिल जो हमारे सीईओ हैं, उनसे उनकी आप जो मीटिंग कराएं।
चलो,
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, तो आपके मुझे सभी एक ब्रिटिश गवर्नर जनरल इंडिया में आए बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस, तो उनका उद्देश्य था कि भारतीय लोगों को टू मेक द इंडियन पीपल एज ए सर्वेंट नॉट ए मास्टर। भारतीय लोगों को शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराए, एजुकेशन फैक्ट्री को प्रोटेक्शन कराए, तो उन्हें नौकर पैदा हो, अनेक नहीं अभी शिक्षा में विशेषकर परिवर्तन हुआ है। तो आप क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे युवा को?
ये तो अभी मेरी बात अभी जो अभी मैंने रखी कि अगर आप इनोवेशन कुछ कर सकते हैं, नवाचार कुछ सोच सकते हैं, तो कोई जरूरी नहीं है आपको सर्विस, डोंट बी जॉब सीकर्स, जॉब प्रोवाइडर्स। आप अपने एंटरप्राइज खड़ा करो, आप उसके अंदर आपको बहुत परेशानी आएंगी, बहुत लगेगा, शायद लगता है कि यार आप अपने बस का नहीं है।
शिक्षा में सब विशेष परिवर्तन नहीं हुआ, देखने में आ रहा है।
नहीं, परिवर्तन हुआ है।
हर पढ़ा लिखा भारतीय नौकर बनना चाहता है, मालिक बनना पसंद ही नहीं करता है। जबकि हम पूरे विश्व समुदाय में यदि देखते हैं तो कोई भी पूंजीपति ऐसा नहीं है जो सर्विसमैन हो और पूंजीपति हो, इसका मतलब पैसा बिजनेस में है। लेकिन कहीं न कहीं ये शिक्षा पद्धति में सर कमी कह जा सकती है कि अगर चपरासी की जगह निकली है तो ग्रेजुएट मार्कशीट छुपा के 10th की लगा दी, 8th की लगा देती।
गवर्नमेंट बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज दे रही है इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए, लोगों को सारे प्लान होता है। आपके पास एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप होनी चाहिए,
उद्यमिता की जरूरत है इसमें। क्या है,
बहुत सारी स्कीम निकाली जिसमें उनको फंड देती है गवर्नमेंट, तो एक तो उसकी जानकारी होनी चाहिए, आपको जैसा प्रोडक्ट टेक्नोलॉजी होनी चाहिए कि वो एक यूनिक होता है कि उसको आप स्टार्टअप चाहिए।
अभी स्टार्टअप आपने सुने होंगे हिंदुस्तान से यूनिकॉर्न कितने बन गए, 100 से ज्यादा हो गए। एक यूनिकॉर्न का वैल्यूएशन 8,500 करोड़ मिलेगा। तो ये क्या है, ये तो यंगस्टर्स की साल थे जो आगे इस लेवल आपने का जॉब करना चाहते हैं। मैं आपको बताऊं, आईआईटी और IITians और IIM जो लोग हैं ना, अब कुछ वो जॉब नहीं करते, अब जाते ही नहीं जॉब के, तो प्लेसमेंट में बैठते नहीं, कंपनी आती है।
आपका कहना सही था, लेकिन वो हमारी पीढ़ी के लिए,
हाँ,
इन बच्चों की पीढ़ी के लिए नहीं है वो सही। बदल चुका है जिंदगी, और हम लोगों के कारण बहुत
और नहीं तो हमने प्रेस्टीज एजुकेशन सेंटर क्यों बैन किया होता, क्योंकि हमारा तो कंपनी 800 कंपनी आती है सब संस्थाओं मिला के हर साल। हम तारीख बताते हैं सर, ये 4 तारीख है, इसमें से 1 तारीख सेलेक्ट कर, मतलब ये पोजीशन है आज प्रेस्टीज की कि यहाँ 700 दुनिया के जानी मानी कंपनियां, हिंदुस्तान के पूरी दुनिया की यहाँ पर प्लेसमेंट के लिए कैंपस पे आती है। तो मेरा ये कहना है कि अब ये समय आ गया, पर ये तो भारत सरकार ने अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आह्वान किया है कि देखिए ये नवाचार जो है ये देश को कहाँ ले जाएगा। यहाँ से ये छोटे छोटे जो उद्यम शुरू हुए हैं, छोटी छोटी चीजें बनी है, इन्होंने नए ऑटोमेशन या नए टेक्नोलॉजी का समावेश करके, और हिंदुस्तान में टेक्नोलॉजी का समावेश किस स्तर का होगा। एग्रीकल्चर से चीन में कितना टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हुआ, बड़ी संभावना है, बहुत अच्छी संभावना है जी।
तो इसमें हिंदी हमारी है, तो उसमें बिजनेस की एडवांटेज क्या है?
I could not get it.
फुल हाँ, एजुकेशन में बिजनेस का भी होना चाहिए।
प्रेस्टीज की स्कूल जो है, प्रेस्टीज पब्लिक स्कूल, उस पर अटल टेक्निकल लैब भी है। अटल टेक्निकल लैब जैसा जो हमारा इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर है, अटल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर छोटे पैमाने पर बच्चों में उन चीजों के बारे में, उसके बारे में कहते हैं कि नवाचार है, इसका उद्भव कब कौन सी उम्र में होता है। बच्चा 7वीं 8वीं क्लास में होता है, जब उसके दिमाग के अंदर क्रिएटिविटी आना शुरू हो जाती है, वो समय है। अगर वो उस चीजों को, कुछ ऐसी चीजों के बारे में विचार करे, कुछ तैयार करे, तो वो हमने शुरुआत कर दी। और आप हमारे एटल टेक्निकल लैब के आके देखिए, आपको बताएंगे छोटे छोटे बच्चों ने किस तरीके से नए नए उसके प्रोजेक्ट बनाए हैं। आज वहां से शुरुआत हो चुकी है, मतलब there is a trigger in already into their mind, yes something is possible with these kind of innovations। तो वो चीजें आगे चल के बड़े उद्यम का, बिजनेस का या इंडस्ट्री का रूप ले सकती है। करने के लिए बहुत समय बदलाव तेजी से हो रहा है। टेक्नोलॉजी का जो सबसे बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंस है, हर चीज में टेक्नोलॉजी का समावेश है, और कई जगह डिसीजन मेकिंग में जो है आप टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से लेते हैं। आप मुझे कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, वो एनालाइज होने मुझे अवेलेबल हो जाती है, तो उससे मुझे इसकी कोई भी आगे डिसीजन, पॉलिसी डिसीजन लेने में आसानी होती है, तो वो डिसीजन बहुत ज्यादा लॉजिकल होती है। Not on the whims or on my only on gut feel, but probably they are based on some scientific analysis। वो आपको टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से सब चीजों का पॉसिबल हो रहा है।
नहीं, शिक्षा बहुत बदल रही है, हर स्तर पे बदल रही है। आप यूँ देखें कि आज की तारीख में बच्चा, ये क्या नाम है बेटा आपका? ये नहीं, छोटा युवराज, आपका पुत्र?
मेरा सन है।
हाँ, वेरी गुड युवराज। तुमको पता है गूगल में क्या क्या होता है? तुम्हारे पास मोबाइल फोन नहीं है ना अभी? पापा का यूज करते हो? तुम क्या करते हो?
यूट्यूब वीडियो
देख लीजिए। मतलब इस उम्र से ये यूट्यूब वीडियो देखते हैं, क्लास में टीचर कुछ पढ़ाती है, ये पहले ही बता देते हैं। तो आज की तारीख में बहुत मुश्किल हो गया, आपका जो सवाल था ना, बहुत मुश्किल हो गया है बच्चों को क्लास में अट्रैक्ट करना। क्यों? बच्चे कहते हैं आप क्या नया पढ़ा रहे हो, तो टीचर को अब हर इनोवेटिव तरीके से नए नए आयाम निकालने पड़ते हैं कि बच्चा क्लास में आए और नई चीज इनोवेशन सीखे। एंड ये जो है, ये अगली पीढ़ी को बहुत ऊपर ले जाएगी।
ये
सर दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा रोजगार देने वाली जो इंडस्ट्री है वो टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री है, ऐसा मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था।
कौन सी?
टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री, पर्यटन है, और पर्यटन और हॉस्पिटैलिटी उद्योग दोनों ही जो है आज के जमाने में हर किसी की जरूरत बन चुके हैं। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से प्रेस्टीज ने पिछले कुछ सालों में टूरिज्म का कोर्ट बंद कर दिया। ग्वालियर जैसी नगरी में जो टूरिज्म के लिए फेमस है, जो अपने हेरिटेज के लिए फेमस है, वहाँ प्रेस्टीज का टूरिज्म का कोर्ट बंद हुआ। सर ये थोड़ा सा बड़ा अजीब लगा, इस बारे में सर क्या है?
देखिए, कोई भी ये डिसीजन हम अपने विल्स में नहीं लेते, कुछ चालू करना या बंद करना, ये कुछ हमारी साइंटिफिक रिसर्च होती है। अगर मान लो उस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स में, अभी आपने देखा कोविड के बाद इस पूरे सेक्टर का क्या हाल हुआ, एक सिंगल जॉब तो मिला नहीं किसी को, जो जॉब थे वो भी चले गए। तो सिचुएशन अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन बनती है तो इसके अंदर लोग जो लेने वाले इस कोर्स को जो आगे करने वाले थे वो सब इसके अंदर इंटरेस्ट खत्म होता देखा गया और जो क्वालिफाइड ऑलरेडी थे उनको दूसरे लिए जॉब करना पड़ गया। तो शायद वो एक ऐसा रीजन रहा इसमें जॉब लॉसेस बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर कोई भी प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन है उसकी बॉटम लाइन उसकी जॉब पॉसिबिलिटीज या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पॉसिबिलिटीज अगर वो नहीं है तो उसका रिलेवेंस नहीं है। अगर
आगे परिस्थिति बदले तो वापस चालू कर सकते हैं।
नहीं वापस शुरू हो सकता है, कोई मुश्किल नहीं।
आगे परिस्थिति बड़ी फेवरेबल अगर स्टूडेंट्स आए
और आपका जो स्पेसिफिक डिमांड है उस पर आप खुद ही हमारी रिसर्च चलती रहती है उसकी। ये इंडस्ट्री सेक्टर जो है इम्पोर्टेंट सेक्टर है किसी भी इकोनॉमी का। हिंदुस्तान में तो टूरिज्म का बहुत बड़ा मामला है सर। जरूरत ये है कि से क्लीनलीनेस और जो अपनी गवर्नमेंट सजग अपने साथ शहर सजग हो रहे हैं प्रशासनों ने नया वो दिया है तो ऐसे तो उसको देखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि वापस इसके अंदर वापस बढ़ावा होगा बढ़ेगा और इसलिए थोड़ा हमें इसलिए थोड़ा इंतजार करना होगा। इसका वापस एक बार रिवाइवल होगा जो चीजें चली गई हैं वो पहले फिलअप होंगी। जैसे होटल्स में मान लो एक होटल के अंदर 50 लोग काम करते हैं 50 में जब देखा गया कि 25 भी नहीं रहे अब शायद 50 में भी अब घूम जाएंगे तब नए जॉब की कंपनी पैटर्न तो भी एक साल निकला है इस बड़े पेंडेमिक से को भरने में तो अभी भी थोड़ा सा क्या कहते हैं उसकी कमी है तो इतना एक रोरी की काम थोड़ा दूरी है तो शायद होगा बीच बीच में ऐसे कई आप होंगे इतनी बड़ी कंपनी लगते हैं जॉब लॉसेस हो गए थोड़ा सा अभी वही हम लोग पहले कोशिश करते हैं यहाँ जो भी यहाँ से क्वालिफाई करे उसके लिए जॉब ऑफर जरूर हो।
Thank you all very much for such an enlightening session, and I would like to thank Dr. David Jain, David Jain, all my friends here and the media, the students who spent the time to come and speak, and finally Nandan, stage is all yours.
हम सभी लोगों का हृदय से धन्यवाद हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ जो आप लोगों ने अमूल्य समय दिया। निसंदेह आपको भी काफी ऐसी चीजें सुनने को मिली होंगी। देवी सर के अनुभव, डेविड सर के अनुभव, पाटिल जी के अनुभव आपको सुनने को मिलेंगे और इसके लिए आप अपने लाभान्वित प्लीज
इंदौर का क्या कमी देखते हैं कि ग्वालियर में क्या कमी है या फिर इंदौर में किस तरीके से आप
का नाम प्रेस्टीज है कमी का सवाल ही नहीं होता दोनों प्रेस्टीज है वो हमारी प्रेस्टीज नहीं आपकी प्रेस्टीज है सबके प्रेस्टीज है। शहर के फर्क शहर के अंदर एक अपना लेवल है अब वो दिल्ली बॉम्बे होगा तो शायद इसका स्तर उस पे होगा। आज हम जहाँ पर भी हैं पर हम शायद करके तो प्रथम श्रेणी में चाहे आप देवास में है चाहे ग्वालियर में है चाहे इंदौर में का भी संस्थान की चालू हो रही है तभी आप देखेंगे कि शायद हम कहीं नहीं है तो फिर जब होंगे तो यस ऑन सेकंड इज नाम
बात करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स की जो पार्टी करती है इसकी तो लोगों का रुझान इंदौर की तरफ जाता है।
देखिए अहम बड़ा है शहर बड़ा है आई एम जैसे अगर का दर्जा है तो कुछ कमी लगती है तो बताएं उसका हम जरूर वर्क करने दिया हम कोई कमी रखते हैं। यहाँ के टीचर्स उतने क्वालिफाइड यहाँ के कम नहीं है यहाँ के
रैंकिंग
रैंकिंग चेक लो एनआईआर पे रैंक है तो सरकार ने हमको बता दिया कि यू आर हम अपना सर
एक्सपेक्टेशन बढ़ाना हमारा काम है। एक्सपेक्टेशन आप बढ़ाएं और हम उसको पूरा करें। बताया तो था जो भी करना है वो इंडस्ट्री डेवलप कर रहे हैं इंडस्ट्री के साथ जोड़ते हैं मतलब इंडस्ट्री के साथ बहुत जबरदस्त जुड़ाव है
इंडस्ट्री की नीड है
उसको हम ध्यान मद्देनजर रखिए हम सारी डेवलपमेंट हो सकता है शायद आप देखेंगे जो विदेशों में होता है सारे डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्री प्रोडक्ट सर्विसेज का सारा प्लानिंग यहाँ से होता है प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट तक यहाँ क्योंकि हम यहाँ से बना के मार्केट रिसर्च करके दें, वहाँ केवल कमर्शियलाइजेशन हो।
आगे का क्या है?
रेस्टोरेंट का फ्यूचर जहाँ आप देख रहे हो उससे बहुत आगे जाना है। डेयरी में अभी नहीं, बाजार से नहीं किया।
ठीक है, आप लर्निंग से जुड़े लेकिन सालों से नहीं है।
ये टेक्नोलॉजी अच्छी हो गई, साइमल्टेनियसली सबको मिल जाता है।
अरे सवालों के जवाब सबके लिए हैं। आपके उसमें चीजें अवेलेबल हैं, रिकॉर्डिंग अवेलेबल है।